Superman Reboot, a movie begins when Clark Kent begins to feel the overwhelming burden of being Superman while also living as a reporter at the Daily Planet. The cheers from Metropolis don't erase his inner doubts about whether he deserves their trust. Every rescue feels like another weight added on his shoulders, and the fear of one day failing gnaws at him. Lois Lane, his closest ally, notices his struggles, but hesitates to push him too hard, knowing how fragile he feels inside. Public debates flare up on whether Superman is humanity's blessing or its looming curse. Clark's biggest challenge isn't an enemy, it's his growing uncertainty about himself. His heart aches at the thought that maybe he's not enough. In the icy Arctic, a team of explorers stumble upon ancient Kryptonian technology buried deep beneath the snow. Their discovery awakens a powerful artificial intelligence created during Krypton's final days as a fail-safe protector. This being, calling itself Eradicator, has one mission: to preserve Krypton's legacy at any cost. But its interpretation of protection is twisted. It views humanity as flawed, weak, and in desperate need of control. Superman senses the disturbance and rushes north, only to be confronted by the cold reminder of his lost home. For the first time, he feels like a stranger facing the ghosts of his heritage. The Eradicator speaks to Clark not as an enemy, but as a superior force offering guidance. It declares that Earth can only survive if reshaped in Krypton's image, free of human weakness. Clark finds himself torn. Part of him knows Krypton's brilliance, but another part fears its mistakes repeating. Lois reminds him that perfection doesn't make life meaningful, growth does. Eradicator rejects compassion as a weakness, beginning to awaken dormant Kryptonian machines across the planet. The tension grows as Superman realizes this is no simple battle of strength, it's a fight for the soul of humanity. Metropolis becomes divided as Eradicator's influence spreads. Some people view it as the answer to Earth's problems, while others beg Superman to intervene before it's too late. Clark feels crushed by the growing distrust, as his role as protector is twisted into something darker. Perry White warns him that heroes don't exist to save everyone, they exist to stand for what's right, even when no one sees it. These words strike deep into Clark's heart. He begins to understand that his true battle is not only with Eradicator, but also with himself. Lex Luthor, hidden in the shadows, emerges to manipulate the crisis. He seizes the fear spreading through the world and turns it against Superman. Publicly, Lex frames Superman as the root cause of Earth's suffering, convincing governments to act against him. Secretly, however, Luthor forms a temporary alliance with Eradicator, believing he can weaponize Kryptonian technology for himself. But the Eradicator sees Lex as nothing more than a pawn. Lex's arrogance blinds him to the danger he's invited into his own plans. Haunted by recurring dreams, Clark sees visions of Krypton's destruction and hears the voices of Jor-El and Lara. They warn him not to let Krypton's past dictate Earth's future. These dreams weigh heavily, filling him with guilt and uncertainty. The pain grows worse when Lois is caught in one of Eradicator's attacks and severely injured. For the first time, Clark feels powerless, questioning whether his presence does more harm than good. He even contemplates leaving Earth altogether. Broken by his failures, Martha Kent invites Clark back to Smallville. Sensing his despair, sitting on the porch of the Kent farm, she reminds him of the boy who once just wanted to help others without recognition. She tells him that the world doesn't need a perfect Superman, it needs the son she raised, who always cared. Her words reignite a small flame of hope inside him. Clark begins to understand that his strength doesn't come from being Kryptonian, but from being the man his parents taught him to be. His resolve returns. With new determination, Superman confronts Eradicator once more, but this time not as Krypton's heir, but as Earth's defender. Eradicator activates colossal Kryptonian war machines across the world, plunging nations into chaos. Clark realizes he cannot face this alone. Inspired by his courage, humanity rises: soldiers, scientists, and ordinary people working together to defend their planet. Lois, despite her injuries, leads a journalistic fight, exposing Lex Luthor's betrayal to the world. Humanity begins to see Superman not as a god, but as a leader who stands with them. Superman's battle with Eradicator begins in Metropolis and escalates into the upper atmosphere. The fight is devastating, with skyscrapers crumbling and the skies alight with energy. Clark is forced to destroy pieces of Kryptonian technology, each blow feeling like he's tearing down a part of his heritage. The physical fight is grueling, but the emotional weight is heavier. Every strike feels like a rejection of Krypton's legacy, and yet, he knows it's necessary to protect Earth. In the height of the battle, Eradicator tries to merge with Clark, believing that together they could bring flawless order to the world. It whispers promises of perfection, safety, and a new Krypton reborn. Clark nearly falters, tempted by the idea of ending all suffering, but he remembers Lois, Martha, and every person who has taught him that freedom matters more than perfection. With a surge of willpower, he resists and unleashes his full strength, shattering Eradicator's core. The cost is heavy. Clark is left weakened and scarred. The aftermath is bittersweet. Metropolis lies in ruins, but its people immediately begin rebuilding, inspired by Superman's sacrifice. Clark walks among them not as a distant figure, but as one of them, humbled and weary. He understands now that being Superman isn't about being flawless, it's about being there when people need him most. Lois, recovering, comforts him, reminding him that even Superman is allowed to feel broken. Together, they begin to heal. Lex Luthor, exposed and arrested, sits in a cold prison cell, yet he shows no sign of defeat. With a smug grin, he cryptically warns the authorities that more Kryptonian technology lies hidden on Earth. He vows that Superman won't be able to stop what's coming next. His calm defiance suggests that his true plans are only beginning, planting seeds of dread for the future. Walking through Metropolis, Clark notices something different in how people see him. They no longer treat him like a god or a savior, they treat him like a neighbor, nodding, smiling, and quietly thanking him. These small gestures touch him deeply, more than any grand celebration ever could. For the first time, he feels truly accepted, not above humanity, but within it. He finally sees the value of being present. Lois writes a powerful article titled, "Why the World Still Needs Superman." Instead of glorifying him, she portrays Clark as a man who struggles, learns, and chooses to keep fighting for others. Her words spread across the globe, reminding people that Superman's real strength is his humanity. Clark reads the article late at night in his apartment, moved to tears. He finally begins to see himself as she does, not perfect, but enough, yet. Peace is short-lived. Deep beneath the oceans, strange energy signatures begin to pulse, hinting at threats beyond Krypton's legacy. Governments grow uneasy, while whispers of new dangers reach Superman's ears. Clark knows his journey is far from over, but instead of feeling dread, he feels prepared. He has learned that the weight of the world doesn't rest solely on his shoulders, it's a shared fight. As the sun rises over Metropolis, Superman takes to the skies once more. His flight is not the spectacular streak of a god, but the steady, purposeful flight of a protector. His face carries both scars and hope, reflecting the balance he has finally found. He soars not to show power, but to make a quiet promise. He will always be there. His humanity, not his Kryptonian strength, is what makes him truly Superman.